Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. Hopefully this thing's on. I didn't have time to test. That's how late I am today. So late. I was gonna start like 3 hours ago, but funny story, I slept in. And also we got a lot of working on today. So big thing, first off out of the gate, 25H2 dropped since the last stream, and a lot of the downloads officially from Microsoft are all 25H2, so you can't get 24H2 unless you go through like UUP dump, which no one really knows how to use except for us that have done it forever. So I probably should do a video on how to download old versions of Windows, because I always say don't update. I get this question all the time. Let's just answer this question right out of the gate for anybody who ever watching this or rewatching it, for those YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Never, ever, ever in your life, unless you just hate yourself, update Windows to the latest feature update as soon as it drops. Again, let me repeat that, just in case you didn't get it. There's never a time when Microsoft says, hey, we're releasing a feature update, and you want to update in that first week it's released. You're an insane person, like me, that does that. But I do it for content, because there's always bugs. It never works right. And there is a ton of crap that's gonna break. And that's something like, water is wet, the sky is blue. Microsoft will always have bugs with every single feature update, guaranteed without fail. It's one thing I can just say, that's why people like me exist. That's why I've made a career out of Microsoft just sucking. And I appreciate them for it. I've learned to appreciate them for it. However, I'm still gonna complain, because that's just what I do when Microsoft does something stupid. So yeah, most of it's already been updated. So we'll get going on that. Linux book, been working on that some. That's gonna take a lot of revisions. I'm pretty much got most of the content. I think I just need to massage it a little bit. And then the actual publication, it's a little bit harder than I anticipated, as most things. I'm just like, oh, I'll just do it. That'll take like an hour, right? No, I mean, it's gonna take like a week probably in reality, but that's okay. I'm gonna get that done, and there's a learning curve there, because I'm using Affinity Publisher to fine-tune the publication before it goes to print. And then there's going to be many iterations, and I'm still keeping timestamps on every single page, because you need to know whenever you read something, especially when learning Linux, when that was made. And if it's like 5+ years old, chances are it's wrong. It probably was right back when it was written, but it's probably wrong today. And that's just one of those Linux things that you should know. And I probably should open up saying that in that book. But anyways, today is Microsoft Monday. Another thing that I've kind of done. I know we were doing Monday Linux, Tuesday Windows, and then Thursday Mac. I'm revising the schedule yet again. Yet again, we've got to revise the schedule. Pray I do not alter the deal any further. But, you know, we're still figuring it out. And I think what works best now that I've kind of done it for a week or two, I think we do Microsoft Monday. So we do Windows on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday's Linux, and then Mac. Right out the door. I can't do Mac. I just can't. The Mac util is going to be, I've got to figure out something different, a different tact there, because I'm telling you, Apple, with this last stream and how they locked every single thing down, that it requires a user interaction. I hate it. I hate it with every fabric of my being, more than anything I've ever hated in Windows or Linux. That's how bad I hate it. So I don't know. It's not like I'm going to sell my Mac. I'm still using my Mac like one day a week. But yeah, just not liking it. So that's kind of it. So That's what I'm thinking in that way. So Monday, Windows, Tuesday, Thursday, Linux. I really want to focus on getting DWM Titus out, and I kind of want to add another day in anyways. So I was like, I'm sorry, Mac. I just don't enjoy working on you, and the decisions made by Apple have been enough to be like, we're gonna put you on a permanent hiatus for a little bit while I work on my Linux setup. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hate to say it, but that's just kind of what I think we're settled on. Anything else in chat? Anything before we get on the desktop or start going? When did he start doing a monologue with these kinds of things? I feel like I'm watching a late night show. I think, what did we start, like 3 weeks ago? Something like that. It kind of gets me up and going. I'm going to try and monologue every couple hours, mainly just to get me out of my chair, because I felt like, I don't know, felt like sitting in the chair the entire time was kind of not good for my back. So kind of do the monologue for me. That, and it helps set the pace. What are we doing today? 25H2, WinUtil, and we're gonna get going. Anything else I'm missing? Chat, forever speak now or forever hold your peace. Cody Wonder says upgraded to 25H2 the day it came out. Haven't had any issues, so not updating the day it comes out. Things to be somewhat subjective. Agree to disagree. I think you're completely wrong, Coding Wonders. Never ever update the day it comes out. It's just awful. You're obviously very young. If you say you're over 30 years old, Coding Wonders, I'm going to be shocked, because I can't think of anybody that's been in the IT realm over 30 that would ever recommend updating the day it comes out. That's a young man's game. Sorry to call you out. But facts. Just, it's always a bad idea. Always a bad idea. Never, ever update the day it comes out. All right, let's get on the desktop. Let's update to 25H2. Let's check out, do a release for WinUtil. I think Coding Wonders already did a PR that we've already merged, so it should be pretty much set up. We'll redo the dev stream. I do have to check on the offline part. I think I'm gonna actually remove what I added there, is some people were having issues with the dev branch. And that's it. So we'll do an in-place upgrade, we'll do a fresh install, and we're gonna look at 25H2. How bad is it? Cody Wonder says it's not bad. Let's find out. Oh boy, here we go. Let's get into it. All right, what do we got? Oh, yeah. So for the offline bit, we're going to redo that even more. Yeah, he fixed the bug for PowerShell 5, but I think I want to remove it completely. The idea is I don't need the offline tool to work except for those that download or pay for the executable. So why have the extra latency for people using it online? I'm just going to remove it completely. And then if I need to add it in, I'll just add it in. Problem solved. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Coding Wonders, so far, Dan, he's liking 25H2. We're about to find out. I always am just pessimistic and going, it's probably going to be crap. It's probably going to suck. Oh, Microsoft. I'm just like a grumpy old man. Just, get off my lawn. Yelling at clouds over here. That's what I do. But I'm always for trying out something new, you know? What's up, Mighty King Ace? All right. Oh, we got subs. Oh, before I go, you know, just, what was it? Over here, I think I was actually looking at something the other day. And I want to say, I wanted to do a little sub bomb for everybody that's been here for a while. Because I think my Twitch, I'm not very good at the old Twitchers. Let's see what we got. I think I can do a gifted sub. How much money do I still have? Because I've been just kind of giving back into... where's that stupid monetization thing? What is my payouts here? What do we got? Oh, we got 230 bucks to spend. All right, let's drop some subs real fast, and then we'll get started. There go 20 subs here for $100. What a deal. Just make sure I don't pay out of my own card. Let's do it from the spendable balance. All right, 20 subs incoming. Bam. Let's go. Now we can start.
Yeah, well, the dude binds.
Thanks, Chris Titus Tech, for the 20 subs. Much appreciated, man. All right, now we can begin. Try and get some of those ads off of the Twitch users. Poor bastards. All right.
Yeah, well, the dude binds.
Thanks, Dan. All right, let's go. Now, you know, I did notice on my new build of the system over here, my CPU fan's running a little bit on the hot side, and I got to find a better way of doing that. So, crap. We also have another issue. Oh, no, it worked. Okay, cool. It just took a little bit to identify. Sasha had a great weekend, man. Great weekend. Alrighty. Now, 25H2. What are we on right now? Now, if you ever want to know your Windows version, just open up Start Run, Windows key and R, hit WinVer, and you can see what your current version is. Well, mine's 24H2 here, build 26120. Let's go ahead and update to 25H2, which we're gonna just go into Windows Update, I imagine. And I bet you, we'll see. Sometimes the in-place upgrades sometimes takes a while to trickle down. I'll show you both if it fails. Oh, look at that. It didn't work, so we didn't have the in-place upgrade yet, which is fine. So another way to update is using the tool to do that. So we're going to go Windows, Download. Again, I don't recommend ever doing this unless you hate yourself. YTA, thanks for joining on the YouTube members. So we're going to go Installation Assistant and do this. This will update to... Oh, yeah, you got to get this stupid app. The PC Health Checkup app. Oh, my God. Stay classy, Microsoft. Yeah. So once that app is there, all right, great. Let's check. Oh, cool. We meet requirements. Cool. Now we can refresh. And now we can accept, install. It'll download and do an in-place update. Now, what about in-place updates I hate? Now, I never recommend anybody doing this. I think you should always start from scratch. But at the same token, I like to have a test bench that does both. So this is bad. I don't necessarily ever recommend doing it this method. But since people do it this way, I also do it this way to kind of have both spectrums. Because if I'm always doing a fresh install, I'm going to have less problems than the peasants that have to do updates and do in-place upgrades. So I always try and do the in-place upgrade, so I also see those bugs as they come out too. So I can get both sides of the coin, so to speak. But I would never recommend doing this, ever in your life. Don't do it. Do as I say, not as I do. I've been enjoying 25H2 more than 24H2, to be honest. I mean, in your defense, that was a pretty low bar. 24H2 kind of sucked. This one doesn't destroy your PC. It's an improvement. So, you know, yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's pretty funny. Why not just install the enablement package KB5054156? Yeah, you can do it that way as well. This is just the easiest way, I find. Is it'll download and install the update package for you without much hunting around, but you could grab that. Oh yeah, I'm sure we got some new AI features, right? It's a 170 kilobyte update. Okay. Chris, do you have any video or setups following the debloated Windows 11 with best suggested options to follow? I would say probably the latest video, Nightfall, probably going over MicroWin. I always recommend doing a fresh install using MicroWin. You're going to have a very, very clean system and a great baseline to start Windows off with before it bloats itself up. Now, having said that, we do need to test MicroWin and getting all that up to date. And we'll do that once this 25H2 goes through. What was the last MicroWin video I did, Caleb? I want to say it wasn't very long ago, was it? Oh, geez, I haven't been making very many YouTube videos. Let me see. What was the last videos I did? All right, we got block Windows update, Windows utility alternatives, Omarchy, MacUtil, Mac OS defaults, shorts, AI problem, bash, decline. It was only in June. And I believe this was MicroWin. Let me double check. Today we're setting up windows that have come and gone over. You can either launch it on an executable. This entire ADK's yeah. No, this goes over it. Rate. So it was only 2 months ago. I don't think an update video is needed. I don't like rehashing the same videos over and over unless something drastically changed between the video and the next one. I know that's not proper YouTube etiquette. I know YouTubers should just keep making the same damn video over and over and over and over again until they go insane and try and kill somebody or actually kill someone and go to prison. That's happened before. So I don't want to follow that path. So therefore I only make a new video typically if it's actually something has changed drastically. That's so I don't lose my mind and go insane. Because the definition of insanity is actually, no, that's actually, no, the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
I know you know a lot of super people.
I don't expect a different result.
Thanks for thanking me.
Hey, yo, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Shout out to you. Just turned. How is 25H2 going? We are, oh, not good. Not good at all. No system reserve partition. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? Oh, no. It's broketed. All right. Darn. Well, let's just delete the EFI partition. We're going to just, we're going a sharp left turn here, guys. I know it's a 25H2 stream, but wouldn't it be fun if I just deleted my entire EFI partition within Windows, not using any exterior tools? I'm going to say yes. Yes. Yes, let's do it. Let's select vol 1. That's the boot partition. What are we going to do with vol? Let's delete the vol. And we're going to say force. No, we're going to say override. Deleting the volumes not allowed. It is the current system page fall. Crash. Hibernation. Well, fine then. I don't need to delete the volume. I'm going to just select par 1. And we're going to delete par. And we're going to override that. Boom. Ah, you're not going to allow me to do that either, huh? Well, forget you. I don't need you. I'll do it myself. Using GParted. Yeah, there's ways around it. We're going to fix this anyways. Let's do some deletion. Oh, fun fact too on my inside system. I don't know if it was the motherboard BIOS or a Windows update, but it actually went in and deleted the EFI entry for Linux. Didn't adjust any of my EFI partitions. It deleted the EFI entry in my BIOS. So it was either the BIOS that did that or Windows, but when I booted into Windows, the EFI entry disappeared. And I was like, oh, you trickster, Microsoft. There's shenanigans afoot. Anyway, let's shut this down. Let's wipe out these partitions. I'm gonna actually adjust the partitions too. I kind of want to give the system reserve partition like at least 300 megs. 100 seems a little small, and that should be enough to upgrade to 25H2. Yeah, but it was really weird. Now it doesn't do it every time. That's the thing. I wish I could pinpoint down when that EFI partition disappears or when the EFI entry in the BIOS disappears. Because if you go to EFI boot MGR, let me just show you instead of just speaking. EFI boot MGR, this shows you all the entries in your EFI bootloader,
Yeah, well,
which is really interesting, right? But when I booted into my Windows machine inside, thanks Zoma for the Prime, I noticed something. I noticed that the Windows boot manager, when I booted into it, it got rid of the Arch entry. Now this is something, obviously I created this, Arch Linux Titus edition, come on now. And it's totally me. But I created that just using EFI boot MGR, and you can create entries yourself. You select the hard drive that you're gonna boot from, and you can see that with LSBLK. So you'd select this device and then you go, okay, where's the EFI partition? This is gonna be par 1. So then you'd select partition 1, and then you'd find the EFI file that you're gonna boot from. So in this instance, for the Titus edition, it would be under EFI Arch Grub X64 EFI. So I've manually added this entry to add it back into the BIOS. The actual partitions themselves never were adjusted. They were never wiped out. They were never changed by Windows. Windows just happened to find the Linux EFI entry in the BIOS, and somehow it got wiped out. So was it Windows? Was it the Gigabyte motherboard I was on? Who knows? But it's a mystery.
Well,
it's very interesting.
the
Very
dude
interesting.
abides.
VV, thanks for the Prime sub. All right. So having said that, let's we don't even need to reboot. This is beautiful. You're gonna love this. This is why I kind of like doing it this way, because we don't even need to boot into, oh no, oops, my bad, fat fingered that one. So if we look, where is that? Yeah, here we go. So here's the current EFI partition that's there. Now, I kind of want to, let's just move this guy, right? So we're just going to move that, and let's give it free space proceeding. Well, let's give it 500 megs, right? It's a little excessive. Yeah, okay, whatever. Why is there so much space back here? Let's extend this partition now too. Okay. So then we have that, and then let's resize this guy. So it'll be 600 is the new. So then we'll have this and this. Technically, this will probably fail. Sometimes EFI is a little bit better than like the old MBR systems were a little bit more finicky. But let's just do a quick resize and grow and change these partition structures around. As you can see, this one was actually pretty full at 88 megs of 100 used, and that's why we couldn't apparently update 25H2. Cool thing about GParted, it's completely free. You can download it. I think it's gparted.org. So if you're on a Windows box, you can just toss this on like a Ventoy or anything and go to town. Yeah, gparted.org. GNOME partition editor, completely free, open source. And that's what I like using. I know there's like paid tools you can do it in Windows, but I always find they kind of suck. They don't work as well, and they cost money. So like, why would you ever use those tools? Answer, you don't know any better. So yeah, well, let's see if it fails to boot. I always like boot problems. That makes for fun. Now, there's a good chance this will fail to boot, because anytime you do move the boot partition around, it can really jack stuff up. But I mean, worst case, we could just recreate the boot files. It's not like you have to reinstall Windows. Like, Windows can always be repaired. Much like Linux. Like, you'd never really need to ever reinstall. It's just a skill issue. So just know, where there's a will, there's a way. No matter what happens. It's just, do you have the skills to make it happen or not? There's no in between here. Now, there are times where I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going to nuke and pave. More often than not, it's more efficient to do that. But a lot of times I just like, ooh, that looks like a challenge. Let's do it. Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny too. Like, when it comes to the partition tools that used to exist, it's kind of crazy that they used to be quite good. When we look back on the how it used to be, it used to be different. The free tools, like I remember when MiniTool Partition Editor hit the scene, it used to be quite good. And then it kind of, everything turned into like this shareware bastardization that just isn't good. And it ended up being kind of shite. You know what I'm saying? All of them turned in that way. Like, what is a good Windows tool now for partition editing? And I'd have to say DiskPart off of Live ISO is probably the best if you want to stick with a Windows tool. But otherwise, just use GParted. I just struggle to recommend any of those other tools. And you might be thinking, well, all my favorite YouTubers recommend Aomi or MiniTool. And I'm like, well, yeah, they're really good at giving affiliate rips. And trust me, I should recommend them. I would get paid a lot more money if I did. But alas, I can't, because they suck. And I'm not going to recommend something that sucks. Oh man. CCleaner. You remember when CCleaner used to be good before it really sucked? That's kind of funny. I mean, it was downright malware at one time. Their distribution got infected. So, God, there used to be so many good, like, freeware or even open source tools in Windows. But no more, really. A lot of them just got corrupted or corporate greed took over. It's kind of wild how almost all of them have turned to just complete crap. How do I become a crack dev? Break stuff and then fix it. I think that's how. Oh, this is a perfect time to do the quiz, because I think we're a good ways in. Yeah, well, I agree with you guys. Let's do the quiz. We were a little ways in to the Code and Wonders Window Knowledge quiz. How far were we? Okay, let's go. I think it. Oh, good. Still retained all our. Yes. Which page were we on? Yeah, okay. I think we were on like the 6th page. This was like almost an exam. All right. Cool. Which 7 passes are considered by Windows setup? All right. So this is the out-of-box system. Audit system, I think, is there. Generalize, that has to happen. Audit. Oh, I almost want to say specialize. Yeah. Destabilize. I mean, honestly, it is Microsoft. It should be an option. Let's see. What else we got? Personalized, but not really. Shut down forever. Oops system. Offline servicing. Actually, it might be it. Was it 7 you needed? 7 passes? I think that's pretty accurate. That's pretty good. Accompanying the current installer came and a new format for Windows installation. Which one is it? LOL, pizza, DLCs. It's gonna be something weird, but probably yeah. Well, this has been around forever. It's install.wim. That's pretty good. I love how creative you got with those extensions coding. That's great. How old is the current Windows setup? We're in 2025. What, 40 years old probably? Nah, it's probably like, well, no, probably 25 years old actually. Let's see, 2025. Install.wim was around in XP. So that was 23 years ago. So yeah, 2025, I would say. Install.wim didn't exist in the 90s era. So yeah, 2025. That's pretty good. Set of Windows deployment tools, modern installer, ADK. What does ADK stand for? Advanced Deployment Kit, I think is what it is. Assessment and Deployment Kit. It could be that too. But I think it's Advanced Deployment Kit. Might be Assessment. Final answer. One of the previous questions mentioned Windows PE. What is PE? Physical or portable environment. Yes. Is this part of PE? Oh my God. That is such a blast from the past. Oh, it makes me want to do like... is the setup like this when you do React OS? Does anybody know? Oh my God. That brings me back. Nostalgia. You may have come across the screen while installing Windows 11 on an unsupported device. The values add to bypass the page are bypass CPU, RAM, secure boot, and TPM. Where do you add them? This would have been lab config, actually. Oh, or maybe it was Mo's setup. Lab config was there too when we were bypassing TPM requirements for Windows 11. Ooh, I'm gonna say actually Mo's setup. I can't remember, but both these were used. I can't remember which one these values assigned to. It was either lab config or Mo setup. I'm gonna go with Mo setup. What does PXE stand for? This is pre-boot execution environment. For some reason, how do you deploy Windows 2000 XP over the network? What would you use if you wanted a Microsoft-made technology? Ooh. Rats. Probably remote installation services. Yeah, let's go with that. Which version of Windows was WDS included? WDS would have been 2003. What does WDS stand for? That would be Windows Deployment Services. WDS can operate in 3 modes. Which is it? Ooh. Oh, I'd say probably legacy, native, mixed. Can you run WDS? I want to say yeah. Let me look at this again 1 second. Was it 2008? Might have been R2 actually. Yeah, I'm actually going to switch this to W because in 2008, this is Vista. So a lot of people don't know Windows Server 2008 was Vista based. where 2008 R2, I know it's funny because it's the same year, but they're completely different. R2 is based on Windows 7. So R2 is the one. I was like, this is my favorite Windows deployment ever made. Windows Server 2008 R2. Absolutely amazing. There was so much. You had like remote app. You had so much like just awesome stuff baked into Server 2008 R2. It was my favorite Windows version ever made. There's so much going on there, that so much to tinker with. And that was right at the height. Actually, the certification I got was MCITP Enterprise Administrator back in 2008. And oh my God. Yeah, just such a good one. Yeah, shoot. Let's go no on that. Yeah, it was the best. And Microsoft's just gone downhill ever since R2. Remember when Windows Server 2012 came out and there was, oh my God, you had that start screen in the server. And like your first thing that you did was install like Classic Shell, because you were on a server, but they still had the start screen from Windows 8 in 2020 or 2012. And I was like, this is insane. Microsoft has taken all of the drugs and decided to make a server version. And 2012 is just, it wasn't necessarily a bad version of Windows Server. It was just like they didn't put any thought into it and they just slapped Windows 8 on it. It was so strange, but it was used a bunch. It still had all the stuff from R2 for the most part, but it also had that ungodly Office start screen. I remember I was like, why? What do you need to do right after installing WDS role and opening up management for the first time? Probably pre-stage target devices. Microsoft recently deprecated some of the client features of WDS, but what can you still use WS to deploy? Yeah, of course. Like Intune and all the other like Azure crap that they're trying to push. The problem in most businesses, and most IT people will know this, all this like subscription models and Microsoft adding all this extra crap, it's costs more money. There's a perpetual cost to all of the stuff that they're doing now. And it's not as good. It's like just awful administering an entire environment using the modern day software suite that they have from, software as a service, like Intune and all the Azure crap. It's just bad, especially when you compare it to what they were doing. So if they ever sunset like the traditional on-prem domains and things, it's going to be a mass exodus of Microsoft, and probably I would say that could be the year of the Linux desktop. It might be Microsoft is the catalyst behind it, because once businesses don't have a reason to use Windows, which being pigeonholed into like an Intune, Azure, and all of that would be just absolutely awful. And I couldn't see businesses sticking with Windows. I think there's going to be some that are just finally are like, fine, I'm done with this crap, I'm moving. And then I could see them jumping ship. It's just absolute, the SaaS crap that they have is just awful. It's not even close to what we've had for decades at this point. Like, I would say Windows Server really came into its own in 2000, and then 2003 added a level of polish with wizards and other things that really helped set up Windows Server. And from 2003 to present day, Windows Server has been a dominant force in business because of domain and workstation administration. But removing WDS and a lot of the other functionality from on-prem domains and having like domain controllers on-prem and trying to push everything into the cloud, it just wouldn't work. Simple as that. What would you use to deploy Windows image over the network? Fog. For real though, you could also use like Ansible and other things probably as well. But Fog's what I've used a lot. It's a great open source project. If you're not familiar with Frog project, it's actually really good. It's completely free, and you can actually load it up on your network and then just send it all out. It's amazing. So highly recommend. If you've never checked out the Fog project and you want to deploy a bunch of images, it's so cool. Now, I didn't use it really to deploy images over the network, although you definitely can with Fog. I used it to load new laptops. So when we had a couple thousand employees and we were loading up systems throughout, we would just plug, I would have like an offline one that would just distribute images directly through PXE, and you just plug in the new laptop, boot through PXE, and it would just load the entire image, and then you just hand it off and off you go. It would only take like 5-10 minutes, and you'd have all the company software on there, everything locked down exactly how you want it, and away you go. I actually use this more than I use WDS because WDS kind of sucks, and administering through Windows ADK has always been kind of meh. It's never been great, and believe it or not, actually, I kind of like Fog better than WDS in modern day, at least. Can I use Windows 11 24H2 setup image with WDS on Windows Server 2025? I'm not sure on this question. Can I use the setup? I don't know if why would you ever do this?
Yeah,
Just
well, the dude abides.
AAC CarX, thank you so much for the sub there. To prevent DLL, what did Microsoft do? They banned DLLs entirely and replaced them with EXEL. That's hilarious. Ship every program with its own personal hive, side-by-side assemblies, made Windows automatically get with sticky notes on the monitor. Registry 2. Yeah, that's funny. Probably SXES is what they did. Windows Vista, among all the other features, introduced CBS. What does that stand for? What? Component build system problem? Or no, component-based servicing. Which of the following is an undocumented yet still valid DISM command? Ooh. I'm not sure of the I've used cleanup image a ton. Typically you go like DSM, online, cleanup image. Which one of these doesn't have documentation though? It's completely undocumented. I'm going to say is serviceable because I've never seen this nor used it. And these seem very, very common. I couldn't imagine them not having documentation. But I hate to underestimate the incompetence of Microsoft. You never know. Final answer. Let's go with serviceable because I've never seen that command before. What is the DSM command you've used the most? DSM, online, cleanup, image. Image. Typically, I'd also put sources in here. So a lot of times whenever I do a cleanup image, if it failed, I would download the same version that I was using for that Windows from an ISO perspective. And then I would do like source and then like F:, mount that image, and then go into like sources, back, installed, and then I would point it there, and then would grab all the missing files from the image that it missed from the installed WIM that I mounted. So something like that. That syntax might be wrong, but whatever. You want to install Windows the Arch Linux way. How could you do this by yourself? I actually did a video on this. Let's see. I would probably go reboot for 1, boom. Then you go into here for step 2 for partitioning. Then I would get and apply the images, and then finally I would create the boot files. Honestly, you could do these out of order, step 3 and 4. It wouldn't really matter. Because you're going to be copying the boot files typically from this, but I can't remember if I was using the local source files to copy boot files or not. So we'll put this as step 3 and this step 4. If you're interested in that video, here I'll link it in chat for everybody, because that was a fun
a fun video I enjoyed doing, because a lot of people are like, Windows is blocking me. I'm like, well, let's just do Windows hard. No, what was it? Windows Arch. We install like the Windows Arch links, but yeah, here it is. You're probably referring to that video. This is really, it was fun to do. I also have a documentation on this, huh? Did I put the correct link in my description is the best question. Gotta love that low res picture, Chris. Yeah, look at that. Oh, you know when I was doing that, yeah. So it's no longer bypass NRO. I need to update this to specify the newer update command that everyone uses. Bypass NRO no longer used as that. But yeah. That was fun. Anyways, yeah. And I even put it down there. Here, I'm just gonna link the thing from my website. Let's do that. Here we go. For YouTube and Twitch. How we doing on our... We're still copying over here.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Like the interview for my channel, had distro kitty terminal creator. Oh, cool. My body count's at 30. It just hit me up on my email there, Link. I'm sure we could work something out, man. Oh, that's funny. Anyways. Okay, it's still churning. I think. Where are we at? Still copying this.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Hey, Shadow, thanks for the Prime sub, man. Yeah, this is it right here. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I actually did a video on that as well. Sometimes I forget the commands and I have to refer to my own videos. It's kind of funny. Let's actually fix that real fast while I'm sitting here. Bypass. All right. All right, cool. And there we go. Cool. Web pages update. So this will update showing the new method instead of using OOB bypass. It still bypasses the out-of-box experience. That's what OOBE stands for, if you ever wondered. But it's a lot more streamlined than the old bypass NRO method. Kind of sucked. Right. So back to it. What is the ESI command to get information about a Windows image? Get image info. Given the set of arguments, which is missing in the command line? DISM online, right? Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. Mount image, probably. No. That's an export. How can WDS server be managed via command line? WDS util or deployment manager, I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I don't think I've ever done it from CLI. Any application can be accessed DSM functions in two ways, the command line and the API. Which Windows version made the API available? Probably the Windows 7. Picture this, you're working on a master Windows image with pre-installed applications, don't have MDT config manager installed. Under which environment is pre-installed applications recommended? After OOB completes. Because if you do this before like generalization happens, then it'll wipe out your installs. How do you invoke the command Shift F10? When you get to this screen, you have to connect to network. You may notice I don't have internet link that was added after a modification. What modifications adds the link to get past this screen? I think you can just add this key. I want to say there's a value on top of it. Bypass interruption no longer works. But frankly, you should just use this and you won't ever see this screen. It'll just set up the user regardless, I want to say. But there are registry keys you can to add that back into. So it might be this registry. A little bit of a trick question there. All right, what DSM command starts a component store cleanup of the current system? Well, cleanup image, start component, and then reset base would definitely do it. I would say both C and D are correct. Picture this, you have a French version of Windows. I never installed the French version. What parameter do you need to add to DSM to force an English output? English. Probably can't, actually. I would say you probably can't. You could just go into region and change it, and then once you're done, you can change it back. What command is run by Windows to set up a device to join a domain? Domain join. Well, actually, you know, let's see, did that finish yet? We're almost there. We're almost there. So close. It might be DS. Oh, I should know this. It's WinUtil, isn't it? God, I don't really use that much. Every single setup I've done, I usually would just wipe out the system, and then on startup, I would just throw it all in. I rarely would do a domain join on an already booted system. Come to think of it, I really did not use this much in my career. Huh. You think I would have, but I really didn't. All right. Can you use XML file to perform an unattended install of Windows XP? Yeah. I believe Windows XP was the first iteration of the unintended install. That's where NT Lite came into play. And NT Lite used to be completely free. Can you move the Windows directory during modern setup? I don't think you can. Command must start with DSM. Well, let's just do that then. Oh, I gotcha. Little formatting here. Default shell in Windows Explorer. If you don't have a shell, you can always just go start run and then explore.exe and it'll pop up like the start menu and everything again. Bro. Dang. All right. Well, we'll continue this here in a bit. My goodness. Coding Wonders went ham on that quiz, I gotta say. That wasn't a quiz, that was an exam. We're on the 7th. We're on the last page now, though. I like it. Oh, man. So when it comes to the web page, I always do. I host everything through a GitHub repository, and that GitHub repository gets replicated to Cloudflare. So recently, when Jay's 2 Cents covered the Windows utility, he said, "God, I hope I don't crash your website." And I was like, "No problem, Jay," because Cloudflare would have to go down. Not to say that would never happen, because typically when Cloudflare goes down, half the internet goes down these days. But everything is hosted through Cloudflare and Cloudflare CDN. So when someone hits my website, depending on where you are in the world, everyone's accessing a different part of the CDN from Cloudflare. So if Cloudflare's up, my website's up. And everything's a static site, so there's no like back end where I like, there's no attack surface, so to speak. So there's no database or data collection that happens on my website. And it makes things very, very easy, because then I can just spit out all my code like you saw there, do an update, push it to my Git. Cloudflare will see my GitHub repository and they'll go, oh, a file changed. I see a commit. And then it'll go ahead, download those changes, create the entire build using Hugo, and then spit it out to all the CDNs across the world. So now when you go back to my website, even though it only took a little bit, and we go Windows Arch Linux way. What was that? Installing Linux Arch Linux way. You'll see now all of those changes are reflected. So instead of using bypass NRO like we were, it already updated that command on the fly. I love doing it this way because I never really have to pull up a web page and have that weird, okay, let me log in. And then you log in, and then you're waiting for the web page to load. And then you have that stupid editor like WordPress sites and stuff do this. It's just such an archaic way of doing things. You're less secure. You have a massive attack surface. You're more centralized. So your website will probably crash if you have any kind of traffic, where this is just better in every single way. And, you know, I filter through these days. I almost make more money off my website just doing one anchor ad than I do off of YouTube videos, which is kind of insane. Like, I have over 1 terabyte of data usage through Cloudflare a month, and over, I think it's close to 250,000 users every month just on my website. So like YouTube could just disappear tomorrow and I'd be like, it was a good run. Oh, well. But ChrisTitus.com has really gone to a level where I was like, dude, I didn't know that many people still used Google to search the web. But believe it or not, they do. And so a lot of times I've actually done more articles this past month or two than I have videos. Just because, one, it's easier to write the articles. And since everyone's using AI now, every article has just tons of fluff everywhere else. So when people go to mine, like, oh, this is like really obscure and more advanced, but you'll notice there's grammatical errors. But what there isn't is there isn't any fluff. It's like, here's the code you need to put in to create this. If you don't want to do this, or you just want to swap and just do it a more simplistic method, here's another sub that you could do. Just copy that, bam, paste it in, you're done. No extra like, hey, subscribe to my newsletter, which you could. If you want to click the newsletter and subscribe to it, great. But I only really mail that out every like 2-3 months. I know it's like supposed to be a monthly newsletter, but it's more like a 3-month newsletter. I digress. But the idea is, this is actually really taken off in recent year, thanks to the AI slop of the internet. So every other website out there, all our articles are written with AI. Just mass crap everywhere. And what I've done is I don't take any sponsored posts, which I usually get a couple people like, hey, I want to do a sponsored post on your website. I'll pay you $1,000. I'm just like, go fly a kite. I don't want to solely up this at all. I want it to be clean. I want to be able to search it, and I want it all to be good. And I don't want to read through a mountain of crap to get that one nugget of stuff I need, because chances are I like to use this to find that problem again. Like, I was like, I don't want to use IPv6 over IPv4. I want to reprioritize that. How do I do that? Oh, you do a setting in gai.conf, you uncomment this one line, and then you verify that that worked. You don't even need to reboot. You don't even need to restart any services. It automatically does it on the fly, thanks to that. So, I just like that so much. It's just so good. Can you add a new post about Cloudflare using your website? Like, I'm sorry, Netlify. Yeah. I'll add a new post. Fish, I don't think, did I do a video? I don't think I ever even did a video about Cloudflare pages. Fun fact though, this sounded very expensive what I just said. I don't pay anything. Cloudflare Pages is free. I am literally using a terabyte of bandwidth, and I pay that much for my website every month. A goose egg. That's insane. Now, eventually my free lunch will end. Cloudflare will be like, hey guys, I think we've cannibalized enough of Netlify's user base now. We should probably start charging for these Cloudflare pages. And then I'm probably going to have to pay some money. But in contrast, when I was on Netlify, they did it free up to about 100, I think it was like 100 gigs worth of bandwidth for free. But every like 100 gigs above that ended up being like another $100 a month or something. So if I still had my website with Netlify, I think I'd be paying somewhere around $1,000 a month just for bandwidth. That's kind of insane. Absolutely bonkers. Where with Cloudflare, it's still free. Yeah, you can also just move to GitHub Pages too. GitHub Pages is also free. So whenever Cloudflare's free lunch ends, I'll probably just move it to GitHub Pages. That's kind of what I did with. I've started setting up my new operating system. Titus OS is what I'm going to call it now. I think it was just dwm.christitus.com. So this is another one where I was like setting up, and I wanted to make an easily searchable book on DWM Titus. And it's pretty cool. I like it. Very easy, intuitive, and then I can set all the chapters and do it because Omar G did it kind of. It's a little janky how they set theirs up, though. I don't like this. I appreciate them having documentation, which that's more than I can say about 90% of all tiling window stuff. But how things are set up here, I was like, well, I can do a better job than that. We're going to see if I can do a better job than that. But I was like, well, you know, put your money where your mouth is. If you can do a better job, let's see it. And that's where I kind of was like, so it's a different way. This probably looks more aesthetically pleasing, but I feel like the functionality of like using MD Book would probably be best. So that's why I kind of wanted to err onto the MD Book, which you'll probably notice a trend here. This is the linuxbook.com, and you can kind of see the searchability, very easy to use. So I'm kind of like, yeah, Tits OS would be such a better name. I agree. I know you're kind of kidding there, Hardy, but I mean, I'm here for it, man. Oh no, we got an error. Oh no, error on this one. Uh-oh. Rutrow Scoob.
Yeah, well,
let's relaunch. Prof, thanks for the prime sub, sir. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Used, unused. Oh no. Well, shucks. There's only one way to fix this. Delete the partition. Let's go. Let's see, what is that partition name? It's gonna be, let's just map. Oh no, actually I think we can just do it like a sudo make fs fat. Oh, what's the help on that? Can't remember the exact format. I think we just do F32. And then we're gonna just type in, let's go in label. Let's call it boot. And size, I think we can just go dev, NVMe. Let's get the right one though. NVMe E1, N1, P1. That looks good. Done and done. So then if we look at the partition again, and now we should see, yeah, look at that, unused 600 megs, perfect. So we've nuked our Windows partition. Whatever shall we do? Let's fix this. So if this is an actual physical machine, what you would do is add a CD-ROM or USB boot. Ooh, you know what? Oh, will it actually boot from this? Oh, let's try it. I think I have a PCI pass-through down here for a USB card. I think I have a drive on here, actually. Let's see. I always wanted to try this, and this could be fun. So instead of adding a CD-ROM, like you could add a USB boot here, but I'm passing through this USB host controller. So I had a thumb drive with Windows. I think I have Windows on that, and we're going to find out. And I think I can just boot directly to that USB drive, even with it, because I'm passing through the entire physical PCIe. Oh, that'd be fun. Let's go. And I think I could just go delete. Escape, maybe? Can't remember the command. F2? Yeah. Yeah, why would you ever have secure boot enabled? Ew. Secure boot's gross. Ew, gross, nasty. Let's go. Shut down. Force reset. And then delete. Come on. Ah, there we go. It worked. Ah. Awesome sauce, man. It's booting directly from my USB drive. My pass-through worked. I've never actually done it this way, but it'd be fun to try. Yeah, no Battlefield 6 for me. Shucks. I always enjoy having a bunch of teenagers use a bunch of cuss words at me. Guess I'm gonna have to get my fixing somewhere else. Did this work? Probably should have just loaded up the image. I just kind of wanted to try this method. Yeah. Central time here. Yeah, it is USB. It should take long. Seems a bit slow. Why is secure boot gross? I have it enabled on Mint Windows 11 dual booting laptop. Never had problems. Good question. Like, a lot of people don't realize what secure boot is and why I'm so against it. Secure boot has what's called a certificate authority. And there's only one certificate authority by default. Every single motherboard that you have references this one certificate authority before it issues keys and authenticates with that authority. Every single Linux distribution also has what's called a shim that also is registered with this certificate authority. So you might be thinking, who is this certificate authority? And I'm like, I'm glad you asked. It's Microsoft. Secure boot, even on Linux, authenticates with Microsoft's security authority. Well, what happens if Microsoft rejects the keys from, let's say, Fedora or Mint, or pick your Linux distribution here? Your system will no longer boot because Microsoft deems it not secure. Call me crazy, Call me tinfoil hat wearing crazy person, but I don't want that on my system. I don't want my Linux installs to be authenticated by Microsoft. To me, just seems dirty. It seems wrong. I feel like taking a shower just talking about this. Well, anyways, that was fun. I don't know why that was taking so long. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way and just load the image directly on. I think that's the way to go. All right. Come on. All right, here we go. Let's open this back up. We're going to just do it the old-fashioned way. Oh, where are you at? Where are you at? Probably. It's got to be storage, right? Yeah, there it is. Let's use the Windows 25H2 ISO. And let's go into the boot of this as well. Might as well. Go finish. Let's go into our boot. Permission denied. Denied. Boot options is what I need. Alrighty. Let's enable that. We'll push up the authority. Actually, no. I think we're going to go leave it like that, and we'll just... If it fails to boot from hard drive, then we'll boot it from that image. Yeah. Oh man, don't get me started on Apple and the cables. Oh my God. I had, it was a Christmas party for my day job, and I remember I won a MacBook, or not a MacBook, it was the Mac headphones. What are they called? AirPods? The AirPods Max, the over-the-ear headphones. And I was like, awesome, cool, $500 headphones. I was like, these things are going to be great. Oh God, I hate those damn headphones. They're the worst. They come in like what for a better lack of better words, a bra that it wraps around like the thing. I almost want to go get them just to show you. And then I was like, hey, Bluetooth kind of sucks when, I mean, Bluetooth and Apple products are actually not bad, but when it comes to like Windows or other devices, I would just much rather have a 3.55 and hardwire it in, right? The cable for that, you had to get it from Mac because it's lightning to 3.55, and all the cables I tried online didn't work because there's some proprietary component in there that blocks it. So I had to go just wild. What's that? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, my wife brought them in. Look at it. The bra with it. Yeah, look at that. These stupid things. So this guy right here was the lightning port, and I was just like, these suck. They're so bad. Like, look at this. And there's no off switch on these, by the way, in case you're wondering. You want to turn them off, you better not lose your bra, because then you'll never be able to turn them off in your life. So they go in here, and then there's this proprietary magnet in here, and I tried to grab some third-party ones off Amazon, and guess what? Most of them don't work. You have to get the Apple authenticated bra, not non-bra Apple. Anyways, it's so stupid. And these things are $500. Like, what? Apple users are on some kind of drugs. Like, God. Old Tim Apple. He really learned his stuff, I gotta say. Anyways, I won those at a thing, and I use them every once in a while, but often if I ever forget to not put them in the bra, they'll die. And then if you use them for 3.55, the stupid cable, I spent I want to say it was $50, and it's the most flimsy 50-cent cable you've ever had. Not braided. It is just like, you look at it and I'm afraid of it breaking. And I'm like, Apple quality my ass. This is just the worst thing ever. And God. Yeah, anyways. I'm sorry. Let's rebuild this boot partition. Small rant. It's just all from somebody in chat saying, "Oh, this cable." Yeah. He is cooked as a CEO. He's a terrible CEO. Good at optimizing, but he's you know, he's just going to retire on his own private island somewhere with as much as he get paid. I think he gets paid like 80 million a year or something stupid. It's actually probably more than that. Anyways, I digress. Yeah. Let's go select par 1. Now I want to say list vol. Okay. Let's just go assign letter equals G list vol. Exit. Now I want to say to copy the boot files. I always forget this. This is why I made an article about it. Again, let's go over to christitus.com. Windows boot. Recovering deleted boot partition. Yes, that sounds like it. Yeah, here we go. Boot. BCD boot. Let's go. All right. BCD boot. And then you specify the source files, I want to say, was it? Yeah, C Windows. C Windows. And then S. And then I want to say there was another option. What was the other option? S, the file, and then F all. Okay. So G, F, all. Then it creates all your boot files. I'm pretty much sure that's all you need to do. Now there is BCD, or what? There was another one. You don't necessarily have to do a boot rec. Boot rec was like from back in the day using like MBR and those types of things, and you'd have to rebuild the. It doesn't really work much anymore, I don't think. Anyways, I think it works either way. You don't have to do that. Let's reboot, see what we get. I bet it'll boot up just fine. But rebuilding the boot partition, a lot of people make it into some black magic kind of thing. It's actually pretty easy, as you just saw. Really, all you need is just this one command. Once you set up the partitions correctly, I went ahead and reformatted that whole thing. You could do all this in GParted, like I show in this article. I didn't really do that. I did it through just command line in Linux, but this would be more for a normie. So if you had to redo this, you can do GParted. I probably would just delete it. Make sure you're GPT, make sure it's EFI, and then where it says here, once you've created those partitions, I'd do it at least 300 megs is the recommended. I think that's the official Microsoft one. 100 megs is what they used to do back in the day. Now I think 300 is their recommended. And this one works really well. Anywho, let's update to 25H2, shall we? Good Lord. How long have we been going? I'm so fired. Yeah, now we should have, if you go into disk management, just to show you, you can see 600 megs and then see. So all these extra spaces in between got filled up. We moved all the data around, and then we just recreated the EFI partition. Now, I tried to do this all in GParted, and as you saw, it failed miserably, and I had to end up deleting the partition, reformatting it all. It's fine. The cool thing about EFI and why it's so much better than like the legacy and MBR and all that crap that we used to deal with, it's so flexible. Like you don't have to put it right at the very beginning. Honestly, if I didn't want to move this, you could take all this and have it at the beginning of the drive and just toss the EFI partition at the end of the drive. You don't have to have it in a certain location of the drive. It's very resilient. And I was like, so cool. Yeah, YAG, actually, while this installs, here, I'll catch up with chat here. YAG, when it comes to 25H2, it didn't come on my system either, so right now I'm forcing the install through here. Someone in chat earlier today said you could do you could just grab the upgrade file. I think it's a KB patch or update that you can just install to grab 25H2 as well. I believe you could grab this directly from UUP dump if you're interested in that. I didn't go this method. I went like the super easy brain dead method. But if you go to uupdump.net, you can go into the latest builds. Let's just go latest release. What's 24H2? That's not right. What else we got? So you got 25H2. That's update preview. 25H2 right here. This is a full image, I want to say. Yeah, that's the full image. I don't know. Maybe if that guy's still in chat, he could link it. But anyways, you can download that directly. I didn't want to hunt it down. I was just like, whatever, we're just going to use the official tool. And honestly, I don't recommend upgrading to 25H2. It's always a bad idea to update to the latest and greatest right as it releases. Usually it's heartache. Although a lot of people have been saying they really like 25H2. So let's give it a whirl. Yeah, we're now 1 hour into the super easy method. I know. Hey, Peter, we got to stay somewhat sane here. If I'm in Windows all the time, I at least want to be in Linux too. I'm not trying to lose my brain here. I still want to enjoy my computing experience, okay? If I want to hang out with the peasants on Windows, I'm going to do it in a VM. What's new in 25H2? Good question. I know there's a new group policy. Let's review what we have in 25H2 right now. Release notes. And let's see what all we have. We have AI actions in File Explorer. Wow. How awesome is that? I just was hoping we could get more AI and Copilot features. Click to do. Fantastic. Agent in settings. Oh, it just keeps getting better, man. Wow. Sign off your firstborn child as well. Fantastic. Version 25H2, Wi-Fi 7 enterprise connectivity. Ooh, yeah. A way to partner up and get some more proprietary shit in the world. Good job, Microsoft. Fantastic. Improved Windows search. Well, the bar was already so low, pretty much anything's an improvement, but with Copilot added to the search feature, we'll have to try that out. We'll see if it's an actual improvement. Probably not, just added a bunch of stuff. Also, another fun fact that's not listed here, it bloated the ISO. It's now almost an 8 gigabyte ISO. How big was how big was it? And now that I'm saying that, we got to check. What was the full size? Win 25H2? Where are you at? Here we go. Yeah, 7.2 gigabytes now. Fun times, man. Just keeps getting better compared to 5.2. I'm sorry, I misspoke here. It is officially 1.8 gigabytes larger than 24H2. So we got 2 gigabytes of God knows what else got slapped into this beast. Fantastic. I'm so happy right now. Just so much more crap. Oh, more Microsoft stuff installed on my Microsoft Windows. Oh, was that it? Well, okay. Well, what are the known issues? I guess that was all that was added in 25H2. Problems playing protected content in Blu-ray and DVD. They don't want you actually using any physical media. Y'all need to get with the times. Get a Microsoft account. Sign up for the Microsoft store. Again, sign over your firstborn child while you're doing this. And any future income earnings so you can get digital licenses to content you'll never own. Probably at a monthly fee in there too somewhere. I think this is fantastic. I mean, who wouldn't want 25H2? It's bigger, doesn't play protected content through physical media you own anymore. I'm sure it's fine though. It's partially resolved, they said. You can get this enhanced video renderer with the HDCP enforcement. Well, that's great. I love it. Welcome to Windows. Man. Look at that. Oh, look at these pretty pictures. I love how the AI still can't, like, make out rather regular words. Like, look at that gibberish. Like, if you're gonna... I mean, they did get a smiley face back here. So, that's an improvement. It's coming for people's jobs. Cool. That's just, man, 3 images all they could spit out with their AI there. And, I mean, it's 3 more images that we didn't have. Look at this purple one. Wow. Hey, at least the keys are all the same size. That's an improvement. Yeah. Wow. They probably actually hired a human to do that picture. Anywho, yeah. 25H2. Looks great. Anyhow, let's see how our install's going. We're at 80% right now. It says Mark. Does it? Does it really? Oh, sorry. Does it say Mark? Here, let's watch the official video.
The Windows 11 2025 update, also referred to as Windows 11.
Dude, he's got the height. He has the hat from White Man Can't Jump. He's like Wesley Snipes in 2025. If Wesley Snipes was white.
Version 25H2.
Oh.
The Windows 11.
So tick this on if you want the latest as soon as they're available. So let's say you want to become a guinea pig. Tack this on. I like it. All right.
2020 as soon as they're available today. 2025 update will be delivered using servicing technology like that used for our monthly updates. This helps.
You know what always cracked me up about Windows Update? Windows Update is committed to helping reduce carbon emissions. Windows cares about the trees.
Ensure that installing the information. Hope you enjoy using the Windows 11 2025 update. We'd love to hear.
So, what is that? Let's go to this site and see what's actually in it. aka.ms, Windows inside this update. aka ms Windows inside this update. Okay, here we go. What do we have? Surely there's got to be more than just AI crap, right? As much as I like bashing it, it's like, come on, there's got to be something. Okay, here we go. Copilot unique features. You got recall. Dude, we can enable recall on our systems. I was waiting for this. Click to do. Windows search Windows settings and voice access. Okay, so there's AI. Then we got some more AI Copilot crap. Then we got narrator and voice typing, more AI crap. Then we got user experience. Okay, here we go. Taskbar improvements, including better icon resizing, enhanced previews, and clock display. That might be good, actually. Widgets now support multiple dashboards, lock screens. So they're bringing back like the widgets from Microsoft Vista. Okay, I'm here for it. File Explorer, add curated views. Okay, they're bloating. File Explorer is starting to get kind of wacky. They're just doing too much with File Explorer, in my opinion. But needless to say, we'll check it out. Snap in Windows. I guess they're just improving the snap. The snap menu. Yeah, I thought it was already okay. System management. Redesigned homepage. And now you have PC migration for pairing Windows backup app, add users and transfer settings between PCs. They've had so many different PC migration software over the years. None of them work very well. And they all kind of suck. But I mean, hey, at least they're still trying. Windows Hello. Yeah, all right. Sometimes Windows Hello is all right. I don't know how secure it is, though. It makes me feel like it's not very secure, but okay. Sharing and collaboration. We have Windows Share allows image editing before sharing previous to the web, compression level, drag and drop. Okay, so maybe like it's like a gimped version of ShareX probably. I guess that was it. What was 2024? Yeah, it kind of sucked too. Although the File Explorer, they did expand the right-click menu to not be so crappy during 24H2. Bluetooth, they've always had problems with. It never works quite very good. As much as I hate Mac, a lot of times I will say Mac's Bluetooth, top-notch. Yeah, they're just like, we had stuff, and it delivered a set of scopes of improvements in productivity and management. They couldn't really be bothered to add anything there. All right. Oh, boy. How are we doing? We're at 82%. My God. Do we not have... I thought we added enough performance to this. Yeah, we got 16 cores. We got 16 gigs of memory. Should be churning through this just fine. Direct access to everything. Yeah. My word. What do we think, chat? Oh, my goodness. Lazy dev. Yeah, I think it was when the UWP framework came in and gutted the Windows 10 taskbar. We lost all capabilities of moving the taskbar anywhere but the bottom. Which is like, oh. Yeah, it might be the E cores. Could be. I did get the old HP Wolf fixed up. I could always switch back. If you guys missed the Wolf. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of surprising how bad each update of Windows has been. But I mean, 25H2, even given that it's pretty much a bloated version with some like extra AI crap, essentially, the too long didn't watch of any of that. I haven't heard anybody having massive problems with it yet. So that's why I'm kind of like curious about, hey, what kind of issues are we going to have? Use the Wolf for Proxmox. Ooh. That's a pretty good idea, Dan. Oh, yeah. Agreed. Caleb, we got to get WinUtil sorted. Let's get that going. While we wait. God, sorry, bro. You see, Caleb's good because he keeps me in line. He's like, hey, add disable edge tweak. Oh, God. What did he do here? There's so many different ways to go about this. Yeah. Now, we did do a region lock on the edge, but we're not going to do this yet today. We'll look at that another day. Next week we might look at that. Add beeper to messaging applications, don't care. Feature Notion support. Do people actually use Notion? I'm sure they exist. They're like $1 billion company, right? But what's the support entail? What? You're changing my workflow? What? You're deleting applications? What? 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 Okay, come on. What is happening here? This should be like 5 lines. Allows user to manage Notion and win, get a chocolate. Okay. Okay. Sure, binary directory exists before compiling setup and path errors. Should have been multiple PRs, brother. Okay. So you're just checking for the path for binary. If no path, then okay. That's fine. It's kind of weird. That's hard coded into D though. Is that seems odd? And why is 2,915 lines in applications getting deleted? So adding Notion, but deleting all of this. Bro, what? Oh, somebody's AI malfunctioned, I'm gonna say. Did look, Coding Wonders thought the same thing. You know, it never gets old. It never gets old. Oh gosh, that is hilarious. Oh god, yeah, let's close that. Yep. Alrighty. Anyways, all that's good. Let's make a release. Cracking me up. Before we go do that, how are we doing over here? Let's just go ahead. I'll work on this while it's doing its thing in the background. I know. Can you believe it? AI wrong? Never. It just wanted to nuke the entire project. It's kind of funny. What do we have? WPF button. What was I changing here? Why do I have uncommitted stuff? Titus, what were you doing? What were you doing here? Let's see what I was changing. Oh, that's right. We were adding Windows Restore. Yeah. So, because people kept asking me like, hey, I'm trying to restore, and Microsoft keeps hiding the Windows Restore utility. So what I did was I wanted to do, let's do a compile run. And we're going to commit this. I can't believe I didn't commit this. Jeez, fired. Anyways, if you go into config, I wanted to add Windows Restore here. Let's increase the font here. So I wanted to add Windows Restore. So when you click this, it takes you right to System Restore, because this is kind of hidden in modern day Windows. It's still a pretty valuable tool, but I feel like Windows is kind of starting to get away from System Restore. And I feel like they're probably going to do something when they add a bunch of crap or they use AI to fix up Windows, and it'll probably end up breaking it. But for right now, I still say System Restore is the best way to revert your system when you have like bad tweaks or you do something really stupid. It's still pretty good for that. So that is gravy. Let's do a gcom add Windows restore to config tab. All right, gravy. Next up, the other thing I wanted to do was on the launch. I wanted to comment out. Let's go to start. So right now we're doing PowerShell 5 by default. So what I wanted to do, I do have a check to do offline mode for those that buy the executable, but I can just bake that in offline. It doesn't need to be done here. So let's double check that real fast. Where did I put that? I want to say I put it in main or start. Maybe not. Let's just go 1.1.1. Test internet connectivity. So test WinUtil connection right here. You already did it, but I'm going to actually remove this from the actual. So in main is online, test connection, and we're going to just go how's the best way? Probably what my initial thought is to do something like this. Is I don't want to delay the startup by testing the internet connection. If that internet connection fails, then it will it'll go in offline mode with the install tab disabled. But I almost kind of want to just leave this here, so then whenever I build the executable, I can just toggle this on and you're good to go. Now let's say you're like, Titus, I want to use this offline without paying any money. Totally can. You could just download the WinUtil, run it, and then just change this to false if you want to just have the offline PowerShell. So we'll leave all this intact, but this will immediately fail. Go to else, enable the online, and then invoke everything. I feel like that's just a better method that will not add any latency. And then the executable might take a fraction of a second longer to start up, but it will have the offline mode baked in. I feel like that's just worth it because there's no other way I could think of in the online version why we should even test the internet connection, because technically you're going to be launching this from a website. It'll always be online. So it's like, For offline mode, better add it as a parameter that the executable passes so there is no internet. Yeah, that would also be a better way. There's better implementations. I'm going to leave this here. This is basically essentially bypassing all of this and it just getting launched right in. But for now, I think that's what I want to do for the release, just to make sure it launches as fast as possible. Temp disable of offline for online users. That works. All right. I'm not sure on the slop there, PRS. Let's see. Jay would talk with Chris, but Chris doesn't want to ask. What's that? I think I missed the context to that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know the context of that, Peter. I think I missed some of that. Which J are we talking about? Yeah, I know I need glasses. I got the LASIK though. It should be fine. All right, let's test this real fast. You can see we're all up to date. Let's make sure we got to compile and run. You had a chance to speak with Jay's 2 cents after the time he mentioned you in his video? I have not, Ew. I did comment to him. I sent him a tweet, I think it was, and I said I was appreciative. And it was like, make sure to reach out if you have any issues, and I'd be more than happy to help. All right, that worked great. A little bit faster startup. Everything looks good there. It does look like our formatter did fix a few things in like main PS1. Fix formatting. Let's go ahead and commit those changes. Now let's build the, I'm actually going to do this in Linux. Let's go actions. And we are going to do a pre-release. Do we still have the pre-release over here? Let's delete the old pre-release. Yeah, I never did. The dev version was kind of problematic, so I stopped. Did I add anything extra? I don't think I did. Yeah, let's just delete this pre-release. You know what? I'm gonna keep that. Nah, let's just delete the draft too. It'll pull all this back in when it creates the pre-release. Fix AG subcategory, I beg you. What's the AG subcategory? What happened here too? Yeah. So part of that slop we denied, I want to say, the pre-compile. My compile has what's called a binary directory, but I didn't make that public. So the actions will fail on that. Yeah, well, whatever. Oh, I feel like... Yeah, I'm just thinking. I guess I could modify it, but I don't want to. Let's see. Let's look at the action. One more time. Good lord, 25H2 is insane. Why is it taking forever to install? I mean, my system is going crazy over here, so I know it's using... It is definitely utilizing those cores. Like, big time. So you can see that setup is going crazy. And it's writing to the disk at 200 megabytes a second. So it's just adding a boatload of garbage, 25H2 is. At least when doing an in-place upgrade, which, again, I never recommend. Ugh, gross. All right. Let's fix this. GitHub. Workflows. And I want to say compile check. So it utilizes the compile PS1. Let's change compile PS1. We were doing binary. And proper way of doing this, check if excluded file directory exists before utilizing the excluded files variable, so it won't error. Okay, so then do the test paths for the excluded, and then you add to the end. Okay, and then invoke preprocessing, code formatting. Where are you at? Right here. Progress message. That looks good to me. Yeah, that's the correct way of doing this. So now if we look at the changes, instead of just adding these blanket directories, it checks to see, hey, test the path. Did these directories exist? If so, add them to excluded files, and then add these independent files in there. Perfect. Keep. Now let's test the compile. That is the way I want to do it, and then we should have a valid. Oh man, don't remind me about the Diablo 4 purchase. That was such a bad purchase. I have not bought any of the add-ons to Diablo 4, by the way. I've sworn off Blizzard Diablo 4 forever until I don't. But I have not purchased any expansion to Diablo 4. That's how much they piss me off. And I'm a huge Diablo fan. But you're not wrong, Peter. I am a bit of a cheap ass when it comes to hardware.
Yeah, well, to do the buys.
HH, thanks for the prime. Yeah, man. Diablo 4 just felt soulless to me, man. I'm just so disappointed. Just so disappointed. All right, let's go Lazy G, and we're going to go fix missing file paths for unit test during pre-process. Process. It looks wrong. Whatever. Good enough. I spelled it wrong, but I don't care. So now if we look, oh, still using my hotkeys from Linux. That's gravy. Now, still installing 25H. Is it going to even finish before we finish the stream? We're going to get a pre-release out at least. So we fixed a couple things. Now the compile and check. If we look at actions, we should get green check marks. I know. Oh man, I know. The update might take longer because of the migration and CBS components. You can look at setup act.log and the upgrade to complete information. It's a rather large update for it not doing much other than adding a bunch of AI components. So that tells me everyone should stave off updating unless you're doing it fresh. Sweet, we got all green check marks. That's what I want to see. So now we're going to do a pre-release. And then we're going to run the workflow. So this essentially should fix all our issues, 25H2 issues for the ISO creation. There was some offline online issues that people were having. This version will only have the online, but you'll notice in the code I commented out where that is. So whenever I make a new executable, if I ever, like, I shouldn't need to do this maybe like once or twice a year maybe, but then I got to resubmit it to all the antiviruses and then get bombarded with a bunch of people accusing me of installing viruses on my software. And I hate doing new executables, so I'm going to stave that off as long as I possibly can. But whenever I make that new executable, I'll probably just re-enable that trigger, that test. And then we also added Windows Restore button so people could easily restore. That's going to be just a nice quality of life thing for folks when they apply tweaks and then they're like, well, I undid the tweaks, but it's still causing problems. Then I'll be like, just use system restore and restore to a time before that happened. A lot of times people have a tendency to run a bunch of tweak utilities and then they're like, crap, I don't know what did what. And that's when system restore becomes really handy. And then final thing was fixing pre-processing. Pre-processing was checking for a binary directory that didn't exist except on my system. So I made sure to do a check. If that directory exists, go ahead and add it to the pre-processing. If it doesn't exist, don't. So that makes sure that our everything goes off without a hitch. This looks good. Nice. So we now have our release. Let's come into release, look at the release notes, make sure that populated correctly. And then we can use WinDev to launch the release. Perfect. A couple other changes. Let's just add added system restore QL button to config tab. And God, I need to do this as PRs going forward. Fix the pre-processing. Why can't I spell pre-processing? God, I'm taking stupid pills today. Pre-processing. Why does that not look right to me? Directory. Whatever. I'm moving. Pre-processing. Pre-processing. Oh, no, I actually did get it right. Okay, good. Toggle for online, offline capabilities in binary. And felt like there was one more thing. What was the other thing I added? This is why you should do PRs for everything. I need to get better about doing PRs. Processing. Processing. Pre-processing. Pre-posing. Oh no. Oh god, you guys, I failed English class. I think it's very evident at this point. Pre-processing. What? Pre-processing. Processing. 2 C's? God. What? Pre-processing with a hyphen. I did it. I did it. I got it. Wait, no, there's only 1 C? Or is there 2 C's? It's pre-process. No. Oh, gosh. So pre-processing. Ah. Hey. All right, anyways, I don't even remember what the 4th thing we fixed was, but I'm sure it's not important. It's good enough. Let's update the release, and we got the new WinDev release 10.6. All right. Quiz now, or you get the water gun. Well, let's test this first. It's officially a month after the block updates one. Dude, I'm pretty consistent with the releases, I will say. All right, I'm going to leave that as a pre-release. We'll test the pre-release here in a second. Let's check in on this. We're only at 88%. All right, I think we can finish the quiz. Here we go. Default shell. Hinty kernel for multi-custom kernel. No, I'm going to go OSK kernel. What is executable for the sign-in screen? Logon UI. What technology does Windows use for interactive login services? Credential providers? I don't know. What technology does Windows use for fast user switching? Oh, I hate fast user switching. It's just awful. Whatever it is, it sucks. Probably terminal services. No, it's not terminal services. It's like something stupid.
Look, I want to say.
Yeah, we're going to use user handoff. Onion, thanks for giving me a YouTube member. By default, how many command line interpreters are in Windows? Technically, actually, there's PowerShell core, and there's also, well, there's command line, but sometimes people interpret con host, which is like a console host that could be considered 4. But the con host usually spawns a command line inside of it, or PowerShell. It can be a little tricky. No, they are not. Windows PowerShell is Windows only. PowerShell can be actually launched on Linux, believe it or not. Kind of well. Identify the command. Where can this be run? Directory /Windows output to Win directory. CMD. What are the possible extensions for a batch script? Oh man, bat. Oh, but you can do it in CMD as well. Might be another one. Those are the only ones I've ever used, really. Visual Basic scripts or scripts. Those aren't technically a batch script. Those would be a whole different script, but they do essentially the same thing. I actually created the most advanced VBS script I ever did. Was we were migrating like 1,000 mailboxes, and I need to make sure I need to reassociate the OSTs at all these different, like 20 different remote sites across the states, to the new mailbox that was now going to be, we were moving from an on-prem solution to O365, and I had to reassociate the OST to the O365, and I did it through a VBS script. And by doing that, I saved just boatloads of bandwidth. And that usually doesn't matter in a modern world, but a lot of people had big mailboxes and were in remote sites that had really terrible internet connection. So that VBS script was clutch, but that was probably the most advanced VBS script I ever wrote. Fun fact. Out of these, which are the possible extensions for PowerShell file? PS1, want to say PSD one too. I've never used any of that though. What feature allows you to run Linux inside of Windows? WSL. Which of these distributions can run Windows system using Linux integration? Actually, Debian, Ubuntu, Arch Linux. Ooh, Gentoo might be in there, but I'm going to just say that. What windowing system WSL primarily use? Xorg. With WSLG, can you run a desktop environment compositor? Please run. Yes. PyCom. Can Docker integrate with the WSL distribution? Yes. Under scopes, can an environment variable belong? Machine, user, system. HK classes root composed of classes. Software classes. What can an application store in Windows file system? Let's go Win directory. And nah. Yeah, I guess you could do it in Windows apps for applications if you do like AppX. Where can an application store its files in a Windows file system? Everywhere. Oh, God. Well, yeah, pretty much anywhere. I mean, you can toss it. If it's a 32-bit application, it'll throw it in x86 sometimes. Sometimes it'll be in program files. Sometimes it can be in local app data. Sometimes it can be in the Win directory. If it's an AppX file, sometimes it can be in Windows apps. It can also be in the local app data is another one. Well, this is different. Regular app data, like the system app data, is different from local app data. This variable directs you to your user app data, but there's another app data that's a system level app data that also stores files. It's just, oh God. It hurts my brain how many places an application can drop files. It's insane. And like older applications, just integrated everywhere, just mangled into the registry. And if you uninstalled it, there'd just be loads and loads of registry. Oh God, it's just awful. That's funny. There's too much everywhere. It was so awful. Anyways, where does Microsoft Store application store its files in Windows file system? That would be in Windows apps. What is the name of the Microsoft Store application infrastructure? AppX. What are file extensions for these? AppX. Oh, I think there's a provisioned one as well. You can do AppX bundle. In modern versions of Windows 11, the top part of the File Explorer is powered by the Store application File Explorer. Where are these files stored? Oh, I don't know. Top part is powered by the Store application. Probably there, but it could be here. I don't know. It's a 50-50. Random tip of the day. Run the following command to go to the Microsoft Store update package. The command will update all your applications for you. How cool is that? Oh, that's cool. I don't really use anything from the Microsoft Store. Not that I can think of. That's a neat command, though. It's good to know. Thanks, Coding Wonders. What do you think? Does the author of this quiz like the Store app information? No, nobody likes it. In case of a program you can't fix on your own, someone suggests that you reset your PC via settings. Should you do it via settings? No, never. Use a USB drive. That's absolutely true. Nobody should ever use to reset your settings. It's awful. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm pretty sure you're tired of answering all these questions. This is the end. Hurrah. You're one click away from submitting the form. Keep in mind there are heaps more in the windows that are not covered. So true. If I have covered these, this form would have surpassed 1,500, maybe 2,000 points. Let's see. I was probably a giant failure. 694 out of 1,000. I failed. I am a failure. I got a D+. Just so you know, if you ever take a Microsoft quiz, you have to score a 700 and above of 1,000. So very close, yet so very far. If you're reading this, leverage all your Microsoft professional certifications. Yeah. I did, but just not enough. 6 points off from a passing grade. Sad to say. It's a sad day. How are we doing on our... Oh my God. We're there. We're ready. We're gonna hit restart now. Microsoft wants them certifications back now. Well, I mean, they can have them back. I don't really need them anymore. Not like anybody looks at him and goes, "Ooh, this guy has an MCITP. He's a system engineer from 2003. We need to hire him." Ooh, what? He's got an XP certification. He's an MCP OG. Wow, look at that credential. Like literally the last Microsoft cert I got was in 2009, 16 years ago. That's just sad. So I don't even think I would put my certifications on a job application anymore. They're so out of date. As we saw in that quest, I couldn't even pass the exam. I was 6 points off. Although if I probably would have taken more time, maybe if there was more to stake, more on the line, I might have gone a little slower, and then I got a pen and paper out and really thought about. I mean, I probably could have squeezed out another 100 points. But that's so boring. I think you got to either just know, like just gut instinct, just click, 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 go. Although, you know, is their site still around? I remember one of my first certifications. This is bad. You guys might think less of me. Does this still exist? I think there was like some site called Actual Tests. It still exists. So, yeah, I remember one of my certifications I needed because they were going to just give me a raise. And I was just like, it's been a statute of limitations is up on this at this point. So I really don't care. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. I was like, I don't really care. I already am doing the job. I just want a certification so then I can just get my raise. And I went on actualtest.com. I don't know if this is still legit, but these guys literally go into the testing centers with like glasses with like cameras and crap, and then they snapshot the actual tests and they just keep taking them and sending other people, and then they get all the actual tests that are in the pool, and then all you have to do is memorize all the questions, and these are the actual quests and answers on all of the exams. So then you can become the ultimate paper tiger and get your certification in just a day. So instead of spending $10,000 on a boot camp, I think it's like $200 or $300 a test. At least it was back in the day. Probably inflation. It's probably like $500 now. Let's see a Security Plus. How much is this? Yeah. 6 months exam engine. Yeah, about 300 something bucks for this. Anywho, that's what no YouTuber will ever tell you about. Not that I recommend that, because again, you won't actually learn the information. You'll just learn how to take the test and pass. But that's a thing. So there are people out there that have gotten all of the answers and just memorized them, and then they go take the test. and then just get their certification. So if your company does give you pay raises for your certification, you literally could knock out 5 to 10 certifications in like a week. Just get paid bukus of dollars, as long as you know the information beforehand. Maybe you just suck at taking tests. That would get you through. Yeah, the problem with like Udemy and all that, they don't actually use the actual tests. So the actual answers, these are the actual tests. Like someone actually probably broke the law. I don't know if it's breaking the law. It's definitely not on the up and up, though. I know if you get caught, you'd not be good, but yeah. In my eyes, I always viewed it as your experience is the only thing that really matters. The certifications are just there to get your foot in the door. So I've always been kind of like, screw it, just go get the cert, get the experience. Once you get the experience, everything else doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about cheating. If you want to cheat, get a bunch of certs real fast, you can. Because there's been a couple employers in the past that gave me pretty good pay bumps because of my certification. Pretty sure they don't exist anymore, so I think I'm clear saying some of those tests I cheated. just so I could get the cert and then move on. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, for like NDAs, like there's some I worked at a company that did this. It would have been 2008. No, it would have been 2007. So that would have been 18 years ago, and I'm pretty sure they don't exist anymore. I'm almost certain they don't. And they paid some extra money for me because of certifications. And those certifications, I was just like, sure, I can just do it, knock it out this weekend. And I did. And they're like, damn, Titus, you're really good at taking tests. The last guy was here for 6 months. He never got his certification. You got yours in 3 days. And I'm like, I'm just that smart. No. I just know how the system works. Yeah, it's terrible. Oh, certification has NDAs. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I got you. I'm pretty sure all my certification exams are expired at this point, or like, again, so out of date it doesn't really matter. I got one certification, which was SAP consultant. Never touched SAP again. Count your lucky stars there. You know how little certifications tell from system managers, right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, you either can do the work or you can't. Whether you get a cert or not really doesn't matter. Almost every system is a little bit different from one to the next. So it's how well can you adapt to the current environment that you're put in. Because all the systems that you're going to go into just fundamentally are different from one another. Hell, I remember getting my last certification was 2016, and it was in Citrix 6.5, and 7 looks far different. That 6.5 knowledge with like web interface and all this crap, all that got sunset. Citrix changed to a completely different system, and none of that is valid anymore. And guess what? I never took the Citrix 7 certification. Because, like, what was the point? I just set up Citrix 7. I already had the 6th certification. And I was like, this is just stupid. You either can do the work or you can't do the work. And at this point, I have tons of experience. Nobody's going to go, Titus, you're missing this cert. Now, they might go, Titus, if you have this cert, you'll get paid another $5,000. And that's the case. I'm like, I'll go take that later tonight. And I'll just download a test. Go do it. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Just my 2 cents. How are we doing on the install? Hey, did it finally install? I'm sorry, I was yapping. Well, we're on 25H2. Nice. Let's check for updates. Yeah, I mean, Citrix I always kind of liked, though, to be honest. It was just so much fun. This is available. Do we really want... I don't want to preview cumulative, though. That's gross. And I don't think I'm in the insider program, am I? Yeah, no. Good. Don't want that. All right, so we're all up and going. We have that 25H2s here. Now let's first test our dev branch of WinUtil. And we're gonna go christitus.com. Let's go windev, pipe IEX. So we'll launch this. Good Lord, I gotta fix my PowerShell profile. All right, gravy. And we got like Windows Restore, perfect. Lovely. All right, great, that works great. So let's go run. Let's go con host. All right, so we got con host. Let's just go PowerShell. Is this, yeah, so now we're in Windows PowerShell. This should be PWS 5. You can see PWS PowerShell 5 at the top. So now let's do an IRM, christitus.com. Now this is going to be the experience people have on like a fresh install. I've been in Linux too long. I'm doing pipe and ISH. No. That's going to just relaunch in PWSH or Windows. 1 second. All right, let's just go con host. Okay, now our administrator is con host. Now let's go PowerShell. We should be PowerShell 5. Perfect. Now we should be able to go WinDev. And this will be the experience most people do from a fresh install. Gravy. Perfect. Launch is great. Everything looks good. We got our tweaks. Let's just go standard, run tweaks. So we'll do a standard tweaks install on 25H2. Also, let's look at recall. You remember how Microsoft said, oh, recall won't be here? I wonder why this does its thing in the background. Let's go appwiz.cpl. Let's see, did they ever add recall in here? I do not see recall in the system services here. So I don't think it added it for my system. We'll do Windows recall. Let's go christitus.com. Recall. The recall situation. All right. Let's first check recall situation. All right. Recall is not there. Doesn't look like it's there. Shows disabled with payload removed. Cool. So that's not listed. The stub looks like it's disabled and it says there's no payload. So that's good. So that's a benefit. Right now it's cleaning up 24H2. Let's check in with chat real fast. Right section of tweaks doesn't update with settings after each launch. Any ideas? Yeah, I've run into this before. I don't know if we have a way of really culling that and saying, hey, trying to think of a way to update and figure out that so the tweaks are representative. If you're unsure on this insider preview, then why am I not in the release preview channel? So there's two different types of updates here as well. What's your favorite Star Trek Next Generation episode? Probably Locutus of the Borg, when all that whole plotline was pretty awesome. I loved it. I know it's kind of a classic, kind of a bit of a cop-out, but I do love that. All right. That's good. That's good. New Outlook. Search button and taskbar. Nope. Task view. Center. Widgets button. Detailed. Yep. I think it's all fine. There's not really much there, but those things were already like that when they were set. Anywho, so tweaks are done. Let's go give it a reboot. It looks like everything cleared out. And we're going to restart. Oh man, Q is interesting, Peter. He's an interesting entity. Oh, cool, coding. I can look forward to seeing that. All right, that was a good restart. Pretty fast on the startup with our tweaks in. So 25HT is good. Now let's make the thing that most people were asking for was, I'm gonna wait for this to finish and then I'll check. Since I'm passing through my entire Ethernet card here, it does take a while for the Windows VM to register internet, but I like it having like direct access to that. Let's eject this really fast as well. And let's go into images. And you know what? I'm going to leave it here. We're going to just reference the image and see how it goes. I think we can just load that image directly into WinUtil. So let's grab the dev release. I'm pretty sure this is good to go live. I'll probably wait till Friday before pushing this to the stable release though. Just to make sure. You just never know, something could pop up. That's fine. Let's select. And we're gonna go this PC. Oh, I can't select from the network, can I? Dang. Can I just do like a I backslash? Nah, not gonna allow it. All right, fine. 1 second. We're gonna grab 25H2. Copy that. Go into downloads. Just paste it. Let's see how fast this is. Not too bad. 100 megabytes a second. Yeah. Where do you download your wallpapers? Actually, Iwu, I did a GitHub repository with all the Nord wallpapers. I still have to kind of clean this up a little bit. But if you go to Nord backgrounds, I think it is. Background. Yeah, that's it. So I put them all right here. So then you can just, here, I'll link it in chat for you. Hey, that worked. So here's the Nord background for those that want any of my backgrounds. I try to kind of clean, I got to clean that up a little bit. There's some backgrounds in there I want to delete. I've kind of gotten old. I need to cycle through them again. I have a script to enable Hyper-V on Windows 11 Home. The actual WinUtil does not work on a Home, for me at least. Oh, I did not know that, Onion. I'll have to test that out. Hyper-V can be kind of a pain sometimes. Call of Duty, there's an explanation for the 2 terabytes. Wait. 2 terabytes for Windows? Oh, well, yeah, most of it's games. Cyberpunk, I want to say, was 70 or 80 gigs. So games are just really, they just do not optimize them at all anymore. Sad to say. All right, so we got those in. That's good. We've copied this. Let's see if it can build MicroWin with the dev branch. Now, the stable branch right now does not do MicroWin. So if you see this before Friday, you can use WinDev, and then the stable branch will be on WinDev this iteration, probably on Friday, unless we run into any bumps in the road. But I like to test it out for at least a couple days so people can kind of check it out and see what's going on. So let's see what we get here. Nope, so I'm using just Google Chrome. Sad to say. One of these days I'll switch to something decent, but you know, what else. Yeah, I don't like Firefox. LibreOffice is I don't know. There's just certain things, you know. I don't think they're bad pieces of software. Don't get me wrong. It's just not my tastes, I guess. I think is the best thing. At the very subjective. There's nothing like, oh, this is wrong. All right, that looked like it pulled it in just fine. So let's just grab everything. Let's just say vert.io. We'll just say subscribe for the local user. Blank the password. Disable WPPD. WPDD. Say that 3 times fast. Dang. We're not going to do ESD. Skip first time login info. Sure. All that looks gravy. So real simple ISO creation here. We're going to create this. We're going to call it MicroWin 25H2. And it's going to be 10/6/2025. And let's make it. Yeah, Thorium hasn't got an update in like 8 months or something crazy. So you can't really use Thorium today. I really liked Thorium though, from a stripped down perspective. It had like enough features, but not stripping so much down like an ungoogle Chromium. It just takes off too much and it kind of breaks the Chromium browser. And it doesn't feel great. So I was just like, there's no good options. There's downsides to everything. And I'm like, I just want a browser that works well. Helium did look interesting, EXO. I did want to kind of check Helium out. I thought that was a very cool, because that's Chromium based, I want to say, but it looked interesting. You watch Gamers Nexus? No, not so much. Occasionally, like if I'm like buying something and I really want like a really deep drive on it. But I don't know, like Gamers Nexus a lot of times just drama farms too much for me these days. I'm just not into that. Hey man, I get, and most YouTubers have to do the drama farm thing to get the views and the eyeballs, and I don't know, feels kind of dirty. I try to be like, all right, if I see something cool, I want to make a video about it, but past that, I don't really want to. All right. Shots fired. I don't think Gamers Nexus carries about a small YouTuber like myself. I really don't think they care. I still think they do a good job when like they're breaking down a motherboard and going over every single little tidbit of a certain piece of hardware. So, you know, it's not like I'm saying they're bad at their job. I was just like, man, I hate what YouTube has kind of come into, and many YouTubers, I think, find themselves having to do topical style drama based videos because that's what gets the clicks and the views. And to me, it's just kind of like gross and dirty, and I just don't like it. I don't think it's good for you, and I think you should just try to educate as best as you can and not fall into that trap. But I think it again, a lot of these YouTubers that kind of came up from the OG days, they don't really have anything to fall back on, so they kind of have to go with the trends of YouTube. I don't want to defend them for doing the cheap drama-based, reacts-based content, but it's easy. They don't really have much skills other than just making videos, so they have to continually churn out videos for the views and eyeballs. So that's kind of what you have to do. It's just gross. And I'm just like, nah. I'd rather just do something fun, educational, and then I'll just do a video when that happens. And if nobody watches me, then screw it. Nobody watches me. You know? Kind of unapologetic on that. Looks like we're going through here. What was the packages they're removing? I like Coding Wonder kind of changed up how it's listed here. This is really nice. Exactly what's getting removed. Now the media player package was kind of weird. Like there's some versions like Forza, I want to say, the game, that required media player foundation. Some people like having Internet. God, somebody was contacting me the other day about Internet Explorer. Like, hey, I kind of need the optional Internet Explorer, and MicroWin took it out. I'm like, bro, you need to update your stuff. I don't think I want to leave any of this garbage in there. So MicroWin does not work on /win. Interesting. I did see that zip-tied tuning interesting video. I mean, my take is pretty crazy. I think most people would not agree with me in my take on people splitting off of LTT to make their own YouTube channels. Screw it. I'll tell you guys. I mean, it's not. You can give me live here. This is a bad take, and people will say it's a bad take, but I'll give you some scenarios. Zip-tied tuning, if you hadn't seen the video, here, let me link it. Yeah, they didn't really get fired. Tuning. Yeah, they did a car video, which is fine. This is the video. If people are interested, I would check out their latest video. This one here, Linus Detectives fired us. And they did like car videos every once in a while on LTT, but they did this last video. And essentially, they leapfrogged from LTT to their own brand and channel, and they were able to tap into LTT's audience to establish their own. And it's not like the car style videos didn't necessarily directly compete with LTT, so I don't think that really mattered too much. But they did sign non-compete. And frankly, if they didn't already have the existing contacts with LTT and had the existing experience that they gained at LTT and the insider knowledge from LTT and the LTT audience, without LTT, they wouldn't exist, in my opinion. So them being able to take that, leapfrog into their own channel is amazing. And they were under contractual obligation not to do that. And Linus still let them do that. So first off, Linus Tech Tips, wow. There's no business in the world that would allow that typically. So hats off to Linus in that regard. What I kind of have a problem with them and why I don't agree, and maybe I'm completely off basis here, but in this video they're like, hey, we did this, but we're also going to create a secondary channel called ZipTie Tech that will directly compete with LTT videos. Man, that feels so wrong. That just feels so wrong. And maybe that's just more's the merrier in the space, in the view space, but I'm kind of like, man, I don't know. That kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not an employer. I don't hire anybody here, so I don't really care. And I don't really have any skin in the game. I don't do review videos, so I don't really care either way. But it's wild that LTT didn't sue them over this, especially with non-compete clauses and allowing them to leave. People, like, completely from a business perspective don't understand how wild that is, because these would not get the views. They would not get anywhere where they're at if they didn't have the prior LTT experience. So I don't know, man. That's just bonkers to me. Yeah. It seems a step too far. And most people are like, well, they got to be able to make their own thing. And I'm like, I get that. But you got to realize when you're coming up from nothing, when you don't have that insider knowledge and stuff, you got to make hundreds of videos before you really make it through and get that. The fact they kind of just used a cheat code and used the existing LTT thing, inevitably they will cannibalize some views from LTT. And that's what I have a problem with. Not only did they use the cheat code and the existing LTT audience, but then on top of that, they're competing directly with them. I'm kind of like, I get it, but I don't know. It just feels wrong to me. The car channel totally, hey, LTT's not making car channels. They're not cannibalizing anything on that. You do you. But creating a text channel that might directly compete with LTT videos, I'm kind of like, oh man, that's just wrong. But I mean, maybe at the end of the day, let me give you an alternative to this where it might be okay. Maybe Linus is going to retire. Maybe he's just like, screw it, man, these guys are my friends. They've been with me for 15 years. And I think I'm done with YouTube and the views and the video grind and all this crap. I have enough money to just live my life. I don't want to do this forever. I don't want to deal with online BS. And I definitely feel like that's kind of in his mental state right now. So maybe he's just like, man, maybe I could help set up my friends and people that came up with me for 20 years so they can just have their own channel and then they can sustain themselves without needing me. And maybe that's where he's at. And he's just like, let me help these guys start their thing. I think that would be the case if Luke all of a sudden has a YouTube channel and he start making videos. Then we know, shit, the end is nigh for LTT, because that means he's definitely saying, Luke, create your own channel. I'm going to be deucing out here soon. So if Luke ever pieces out and makes his own YouTube channel, we know retirement is evident. And maybe that's his blessing. And that's another avenue that maybe I could see go through. So that's kind of my thought. Having said that, I have zero skin in the game. I just came up and I kind of did my own thing in the software realm. I never really got into hardware reviews, videos, never very gifted at it. It's very difficult and not in my wheelhouse. So I never really have ever competed or in that same realm, even though we're both in the tech sphere, very different corners of it. So it's a whole different beast. It is. Jake just left LTT? Ah, man. All right. Jake did too. Shit. Maybe so. Having said that, I've always had great experiences with LTT. They've been more than fair. They've sent me crap. Haven't really covered it on camera, and they still send me stuff. And they've been very, very nice to me. I don't have one bad story to tell you about LTT. Everybody I met in real life, I was just like, man, thanks guys. This is great. And everyone from LTT I've ever met, pretty cool. Only one I met that I really didn't like very much was kind of seemed like, yeah, just seemed a little, I don't know what to go off of. Shady? Shit, I've already said it. Let's just go Linus Tech Tips. No, he doesn't do, it's Quick Bits maybe. Is it Quick Bits? No. What's the Linus Tech Tip video channel with the Linus Tech Tips? I'll show you exactly who I was like. Did you know he didn't give me a very good vibe. Nope. All right, where's the other channels? Here we go. Is it Tech Wiki? Because Tech Linked, or I know Short Circuit, Game Linked, and MAC Address, all those got shut down. Maybe it's Tech Wiki.
Do you remember when it seemed like every motherboard...
Okay, that's definitely not it.
Did you know that on Facebook and Twitter, about a quarter of the posts you see are...
Yes. Okay, Riley's awesome. I love Riley. It's this guy.
Hello, I'm working on...
Man, I met him briefly. I've shared maybe 3 or 4 sentences with him, and I got some bad vibes from him. I'm telling you, he seemed like a jackass. I'm just going to say it right out. I literally did not like him at all. And maybe it was just a very bad personal impression. Maybe he was just having a bad day, but I was just like, I don't like this guy. He's giving just like bad vibes. And I was just like, I'm out of here. Having said that, I've always liked everybody else. It's just him that I was just like, nah, I couldn't work with that guy. I wish I had more to give you than that. Everybody else at LTT has been amazing. And I like Riley and everybody else I've met. Just that guy, I'm just like, Yeah, well, in real life, he seemed like a jackass. And it could be just a really bad first impression. You know, we all have it. And it was at like a conference with just tons and tons of people. And I was like already kind of like, there's so many people, I don't want to be here kind of thing. It was like only one of the big conferences I went to where a lot of people knew me. And I was just like, I don't like being known. And then I was like, I don't think I can do conferences anymore. So that was my headspace already. And then I kind of ran into him and we had to like chat for a brief meeting or interaction. And I was just like, nah. All right. Thanks, man. Bye. And then that was it. So take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. Oh, was that the top writer of LMG? Everybody else there was cool though. I got good vibes from everybody else. It was just like that. Yeah, Riley's kind of lunatics or nuts, but in a good way. I agree with that statement. Very shady. Anywho, yeah. I was always just like, yeah, we're still working on our image here. Man, this is just, phew. I'm kind of curious to see with MicroWin. It looks like it's done. So let's see what the final process was on the desktop. MicroWin 7.2. So really didn't reduce the size anyway. Let's copy this. Well, that didn't work. Is that? Oh, okay. Cool. It did work on this. Let's just paste our MicroWin in here. And we'll build an image real fast. Atlas OS, I fundamentally don't agree with. Atlas OS uses what's called a playbook, and then it uses a little bit of a proprietary piece of software to do the implementation through their ameliorated team. And I don't know, I just don't like it so much. I much rather, like, if I was going to pick something like, I think Tiny 11 from NT Dev has a builder, and I think they do a pretty good job of making like a custom ISO. I would much rather use like a Tiny 11 style builder that should be completely 100% open source than like Atlas, Revi, any of the other crap that other people have used in the past for like custom Windows builds. I think most of those, you're just opening yourself up to problems, to where NT Dev I trust, but I don't really trust anybody else. Alrighty, we're good. Let's shut this bad boy down and start up a new one. Ah, Ghost Spectral. Alrighty, so let's open up our VM. Let's just create a new one. We're gonna just grab a MicroWin from our images. We've already put it over here. So MicroWin, and let's go micro 25H2. There it is. This is gonna be Win 11. Forward, let's go 816. And we're gonna go 50. Oh, actually you need at least 60. Let's go 65. 111 test. 25H2 MicroWin. Let's go custom. Finish. Let's just remove that guy. We're gonna add PCI pass through. Let's get the 2.5 gig. Pass that through. CPU topology, let's change it. 1, 4, and 2. Apply that. Memory, that's fine. And we're good to go. TPM v2, we might... Nah, I don't think we will, because MicroWin should bypass all that as well. Yeah, I don't know what 9 cores was about, but it doesn't matter. Whenever you reset the topology, it should fix itself. All right, so this is going to be a fresh 25H2. And Windows requires a minimum of, I think it's like 52 gigabytes. You can't do less than 52. You can't do 20 or 25 gigs on the ISO, so you can't do 50. So I did 65 just to be a little bit on the safe side. I think you can do at a bare minimum 53 gigs. So at 53 gigs, you should be able to create the ISO and install it. If you do 50, it will deny it and say you don't meet the minimum requirements. So probably 55 would be what I would recommend if you're just trying to do a test. I did 65 for some odd reason. I don't know. 55 is fine. 64 is the least in VMware. Okay. Well, probably 65. Well, the thing I was worried about is the AI crap might have bloated it up a little bit too. So if I cut it too close, because 2 gigs extra of AI garbage in the compressed install means it's probably going to be closer to 10 gigs more. So I think 60 gigs at a minimum is probably going to be the new standard. It used to be 50 gigs, so I would say probably 60 with 25H2. Oh, yeah. I saw the EA buyout news. Take a look at WinBranch MicroWin. Do you think of removing or disabling OneDrive and MicroWin as an option? It's just annoying to deal with. I don't know, Yag. When it comes to OneDrive, I don't want to modify it too much, because the problem with Windows is, like Edge specifically, Edge is another one that a lot of people hate. These are kind of baked in, and there's a lot of dependencies spread throughout the system. So the idea with MicroWin is just to have a base install that doesn't change very much. All it does is give you a sane starting spot. But you can install and use anything, whether it's a Microsoft tool or any kind of other thing, you can use it. And you don't have to worry about things not working or whatever. It'll just all work, but with no extra bloat. And that's the idea behind MicroWin. Not to like have the ultra minimal setup like a Tiny 11. It's more of a just, hey, here's some sane defaults. So, yeah. I mean, I really can't throw you any shade for using Microsoft Edge. I just really don't like it because of the integration with Windows. However, I hate every single browser out in existence. So if you're an Edge user, man, I get it. Whatever. They all suck. You just, I was like, well, this one stinks a little bit less than this one, but I'm using Google Chrome. It's, I'm a big fan of the theory, don't throw rocks in a glass house. And if I'm using Google Chrome, I'm in very much a glass house. So you use whatever you want to use. I got no room to talk. What about Edge on Linux? I mean, that's just, it seems like sacrilege to me. But I mean, there's people that do it. Hey, I'm new here. I wanted to ask if you happen, if Windows 10 ISO that has been added, modified by someone, put them in MicroWin or started a process, or would be deleted, whatever. Something new. Yeah, like Windows 10 is not even going to be tested anymore. It's pretty much end of life. So, like, we're not going to support Windows 10. There's no reason to be installing Windows 10 now. If you want to install something, get an LTSC release. LTSC is what you should be doing. I'm not going to test retail Windows 10. It's not going to get security updates, and Windows without security updates is like, I can't say that out loud, can I? Like going to the whorehouse without a condom. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, I'm sorry. That's terrible. That's not right. But it's the only analogy I can make that made sense in my brain. That's terrible. It's terrible, but not wrong. Oh, God. I'm sorry. But yeah, LTSC would probably be my recommendation for those that want to stay on like a Windows 10 style setup. LTSC is pretty much your only option going forward. You can get the LTSC ISOs direct from Microsoft. Oh, man. Man, that worked out really well. 25H2. How much space is this taking up, by the way? Interesting. About the same. About 10 gigs. Okay. Not bad, man. So yeah, WinDev's looking really good right now. I'm gonna leave it going for a bit. I think we're pretty good. I can't really think of anything else.
All right. I think we've got pretty much everything in line. Got a new release of WinUtil, pre-release set up. I'll wait till Friday before we push that to stable. I want more people to test it. Feels a lot better, feels good. 25H2 is working good. We made an ISO today, spun up a new VM, did an in-place upgrade of 25H2, which took freaking forever, what, like 2 hours or something? It was stupid. So don't do an in-place upgrade, just nuke and pave if you're gonna go that route. And then we kind of talked a bunch of nonsense, so if I offended anybody today with some of that stuff, I'll have a little off day. Sorry about that. But everything else looked good. Did I miss anything, chat? Anything I should have added today? I feel like we did pretty good, though. Still got to try File Pilot. I agree, Dan. Still, Caleb, we need to look at the main release, MicroWin. Coding Wonders forked into a private repo. I wanted to take a look at some of the testing grounds so you could just kind of iterate a little bit better on some of that stuff. Yeah, should be good. I mean, it feels good right now. I don't think we really need to change much from MicroWin. It still just needs to be a minimal install with not too many changes, just removing some stuff. If anything, I'd probably streamline a little bit, less options, just so you have a base setup. The idea behind MicroWin is just simply, it's like Windows 7 install, just the same default. There's not much happening there, and I don't want to add a ton of options to it. And I kind of want to keep it there. Now, I think Coding Wonders will create like a fork. I hope this kind of like, for those that kind of want that, and then people that want like all the different options and stuff, maybe check out, because he's done like DSM tools and other stuff. So I can kind of see a world where there's like a test release from Coding Wonders that people could try out different stuff, and then I'll just keep the base install. I just kind of want a base ISO creator. I don't want to add a bunch of drop downs and tool. I just want to make it really easy for regular folks that just gives you a same default, and that's it. I don't really want to add too much. So that's kind of my thought process behind all that. Can explain sometime why installing Windows takes so much longer than installing Linux. Well, it depends. Like if you look at this last one, Peter, Windows can be much faster as long as you use MicroWin. Now, having said that, if you don't use and you have a stock experience, I showed you an in-place upgrade today that took almost 2 hours. If you do the ISO direct from Microsoft and you install it, that's going to take probably about an hour on a fresh system, because of how they do this slipstreaming, and then you load up for the first time and then it reinstalls Windows all over again and does another in-place upgrade. A lot of times that happens. It's insane. Stock Windows, it's like Microsoft hates you and wants you to use something different. All I'm doing is fixing what they broke and just saying, no, we don't do that here. This is how we did it 10, 15 years ago. There's no reason to change. It works then, it works now. Why are you, Microsoft, why are you taking an hour to install Windows? That's just, it's silly. It's just silly. It doesn't need to be that way, but here we are. VM software I recommend, QEMU, Linux, top notch. If you want to use something from like a host dedicated virtual machine, Proxmox, amazing. If you want a headless host for like business and you're gonna spawn up a bunch of applications, absolutely love XCP&G. It's a fantastic, it's a fork of Zen Server made by Citrix, which is a whole different hypervisor. Fantastic for that. If you want just some crap that you run in Windows that does some VMs, I'm not your guy. I don't do that. Hyper-V, it kind of sucks, but it's probably your best option if you want to stay in Windows and do virtualization. VirtualBox, get out of here. Get out, fired. No, we don't do VirtualBox. I hate Oracle. Whole different story, rant for another day. I think we're good. So I think everything's good. Solid. Tuesday, Thursday, we begin the work with DWM Titus. We will have a minimal, solid Linux setup sometime in the future. That's going to be amazing. It's going to be better than Omarchy. True story. All right, y'all. Let's shut her down for the day. I love y'all. See you tomorrow. Hopefully I get on earlier.